In January of 1989, I arrived in East Berlin as an employee of the State Department, working in the political section of the U.S. Embassy in East Berlin. And a colleague of mine who lived in West Berlin came into the office that I was working in and said, "Hey, if you need any help tonight, I can stay late because I can't get home." And I said, this was probably 8 or 9 at night, I don't know for sure. And I said, why not? Why can't you get home? And she said, "Because the wall's open." And we thought she was kidding. And she said, "I'm not kidding. I just came from there. I can't get through." And so another colleague and I closed up our safes where we had all our classified documents and started walking towards Checkpoint Charlie. And the closer we got, the louder the din became. We heard people cheering, and so we quickly went home, which was very close, and grabbed tape recorders and cameras, and then walked to Checkpoint Charlie. And I'll never forget walking around the corner on Friedrichstrasse, which is where Checkpoint Charlie is located, with huge barriers set up. And normally, you know, it's a scene, a fairly well-controlled scene, and it was like nothing I'd ever seen. There was all this jubilation, but people were still standing in lines, very orderly, but just happy. It was a very cold November night. People were there with babies, whole families, and just the amount of emotion that was expressed publicly was just overwhelming. And I don't like to really stereotype, but Germans aren't necessarily known for being a particularly demonstrative people, emotionally sort of demonstrative, like, say, some more Southern European cultures are. And there were tears and hugs, and it was just this really amazing, spontaneous outpouring of people who hadn't seen each other for a long time meeting up again. And so it was hard not to feel that yourself, even though I could cross the border freely as a diplomat. I knew that the people around me hadn't been able to do that. So that's the first thing I felt, was just joy. There was also just a lot of amazement and questions about a wonder what'll happen tomorrow. The days following were very moving for me in a different sort of way. And what a lot of people don't remember, people remember that the wall fell, and then they remember that within a year East and West Germany were officially united. But what they don't remember is that East Germany briefly became a democracy in that period. So the totalitarian communist regime was ousted and was replaced by a more reform-oriented government, and elections were held. So this is East Germany itself. This is not unified Germany yet. This is East Germany remaking itself within a number of months into a democratic, freely elected government. Some people say that unification was sort of like Pac-Man, that sort of the bigger West Germany just sort of absorbed the little dot of East Germany, and there was much that was bad, even evil, about the way that the communist regime in East Germany ruled its people. But the people themselves were and continue to be good people, and the daily life that they led had many features that are worth remembering. But the city itself is a remarkable metropolis, and a very vibrant, beautiful, multicultural, multilingual, multiracial place. And I love taking students there and seeing the rich history. And you know, Berlin history tends often to be focused on the Cold War and the wall. That's its most well-known symbol. But Berlin has been an important city for far longer than the wall. The wall was built in 1961. Berlin was important far longer than that. And so being able to have access to all of Berlin now, which you didn't during the Cold War, that is what's vibrant about Berlin. I appreciate chances to share what I know and to continue to learn. There's a lot of really important scholarship, and the German press is very actively engaged, especially now in this anniversary year, looking back and reassessing. And so I continue to learn a lot about what was going on.